So last year was a very, very poor year for the Dallas Cowboys on many different fronts. And we saw the Cowboys offense drop from the best scoring offense in the NFL in 2023 to the 21st scoring offense in 2024. And so the question for Dak Prescott coming into this next season, 2025, is can he bounce back after his career worst season? He had 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions last year, an 86 passer rating, which was 27th in the NFL, worst of his career, 22nd in completion percentage after being second in completion percentage a year prior, and he had his highest turnover-worthy play percentage of his career at 4.7%, according to PFF. And in 9 less games last year, he had only 1 less turnover-worthy play compared to the 2023 season. And so I think the question is, where does the blame go? Is it all on Dak Prescott? Is it the play calling, Mike McCarthy, the wide receivers? I do think the blame has to go around a lot. A lot of it is on Dak for just having some, making some more poor decisions last year. But one area I want to take a look at is the Cowboys receivers last season in their route running, their win rate. I found some interesting stats from Fantasy Points data looking at route win rates. And if we look at 2023 when the Cowboys offense was playing great football, CeeDee Lamb was at 22.7%. He dropped down to 15.8% in 2024. Brandon Cooks was at 20.2%. He dropped down to 13.3%. And then, Michael Gallup was there in Dallas, 16.2% win rate. And so overall, we just saw the Cowboys receivers not, win their routes at such a high level as they did in 2023. And so if you're Dak Prescott and your receivers are not getting open as frequently, it's going to lead to you having to force things, make more bad decisions. And I think we saw last year just the struggles that this wide receiver room had in getting separation. And so that's one big factor in 2025. Can these guys get back to more how they looked in 2023? And I think that with George Pickens coming in, he's not quite as, I'd say, an elite as a route runner as CeeDee Lamb. But I just think having those two guys in the field, it's going to open things up for everyone. And so I have a hard time believing that we won't see, those receivers' ability to win their routes go up a wide margin with defenses having to focus on both CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. It should open things up for, Ferguson and some of the other receivers as well. And one other major factor last year, a major decline, was the rushing game. The Cowboys were 7th in EPA per rush in 2023, dropped down to 29th in 2024. So if you're a quarterback and your rushing attack can't do anything, defenses aren't concerned, aren't worried that they're gonna, run the ball on them, then they can focus on the pass, focus on taking that away. And I think that's one of the things that happened last year with the Cowboys. And when we look at the additions here in the Cowboys running back room, I don't think, Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders are going to be much better than Rico Dowdle was last year. Javonte Williams, 3.7 yards per carry last year. Miles Sanders, 3.7 yards per carry last year. Nearly a full yard less per carry than Rico Dowdle last year at 4.6 yards per carry, which was 13th in the NFL. The one player I do think could end up winning the job eventually and taking over, Jaden Blue. I think he's a very talented running back. I think that he has more to offer than some of these, than Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders used to be great. I just don't think we've seen the production from early in his career the past couple seasons. And then Javonte Williams, since his knee injury, just hasn't really gotten back to that form. And so, the Cowboys brought them in for cheap deals. And so it's not like they expect them necessarily to just come in and take over. I just don't know if that's really going to help the Cowboys rushing attack. So that's something to watch to see if with Schottenheimer, can they get this rushing attack going once again? There's going to be some competition there. And I think all in all, I think it's just going to be very hard for the Cowboys to look as bad as they did last year. I think that it was definitely a uncharacteristically bad year for Dak Prescott. And I think with the, addition on the offensive line, getting some more, another draftee there in the first round. Also with George Pickens coming in with the change in play calling, which we'll sort of see how that goes. And I think with the defense improving, because, when your defense is like 30th, 31st in the NFL, you're not putting your offense in good position to win. And, when you're down all the time because your defense is allowing a ton of points, you have to become more one-dimensional. The defenses sort of know what you're going to do. If you're down, 2 scores, it's like, what are they going to do? Probably going to pass. Where when you're more neutral game scripts, you can continue to rely on the run and the pass. And so I just think that all the different things the Cowboys have done this offseason, George Pickens coming in, Dak coming back healthy, I don't know if they'll get back to the 2023, best scoring offense in the NFL, but I feel like Dak Prescott's going to come in, have like a 30 touchdown, 10 interception type year, very solid year, which I think should get this Cowboys team back to winning 10 games once again in my mind. So I do feel like Dak will bounce back. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you want more Dallas Cowboys content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.